How are you, right?
Yeah, that's a good old prediction from you, isn't it?
Yeah, no. Haaland slowing down as well. 5, have that.
Haaland slowing down. I think I also said on yes, I'm as guilty as you.
You thought Leipzig were going to win. You fancied Leipzig.
No, don't misquote me now, Darren Ben.
You said to me...
I said, I've got a funny sneaking. It's not going to be that easy. That's all I said.
Honestly.
We were both 100% wrong.
What Manchester City did yesterday in the Champions League was... 7 is embarrassing, isn't it? If you get beat 7, it's embarrassing. But when you look at...
See what you've done there. It's very clever. Very clever. I hadn't even put two together, actually.
When Manchester City think about that result, they'll remember that forever. Hitting 7 in the Champions League. But
hope Arsenal don't win the league.
What I will say is, look at the reaction. This is why Pep is one of the best out there. Just give a look. He gave Haaland a little bit, gave De Bruyne a little bit. Look at De Bruyne's performance yesterday. Wow, 100 miles an hour.
You still think Odegaard's better than him?
Listen, I never said that. My point was...
I think you did.
If you look, we spoke about form since the World Cup.
Who'd you rather have
Odegaard has been better, right?
Who'd you rather have?
De Bruyne. Right.
Okay, fine.
Since the World Cup,
yeah.
Odegaard has been better. But when De Bruyne puts in that level of performance like he did last night, it's very hard to argue that he's not one of the best midfield players on the planet.
I agree. Talking of one of the best players on the planet, we have to talk about Erling Haaland.
Freak.
He's a freak, isn't he?
Yeah.
The size of him, like when you look at Tyson Fury in the boxing world, and everything about him just says, because you're too big, too strong, too light on your feet, no one can get near you. It's a little bit like Haaland, isn't it?
It is. It's not much matters when I obviously said on the show yesterday, he slows down a bit. And when I said that, you look at his ratio. He started off, I think...
Sorry, you're going to defend this?
No, I'm not defending it. I'm saying, I think he started off with 9 goals in his first 5 games or something ridiculous like that.
Yeah.
I was just looking. But then he had a little period where maybe he went 2 games without a goal. So I thought, maybe his ratio's slowing down a little bit. But then But these are the ridiculous things that we're talking about when you've got someone who's putting up these type of numbers. But I loved all of the goals last night. And you've got some people talking about, they're only tap-ins, but as a former poacher myself, I love that. It's come off the...
You've got to be there, right?
It's come off the crossbar. The keeper's parrying it, and it always seems to fall to him. And there's no coincidence, right? That how can that penalty area be packed full of players, and he's the one who puts it in? It's all well and good you looking at it and going, yeah, they're only tap-ins. Okay, but there's
you're reacting
there's
first.
15 other players in that penalty box.
The De Bruyne one was a prime example. Hits the bar, he's first to react. And also, I thought it was a great header.
The timing, because a lot of centre forwards would have got anxious. As it hits the crossbar, they're trying to jump early, and it would have bounced over their head.
Got to just explain what you've got to get above the ball.
You've got to get above the ball, but you've got to read the bounce.
Yeah.
And he obviously got himself up there. But as you talk about goal scorer, poacher, someone who just is in the right place at the right time, he could be one of the best we've ever seen at that.
I think so. He's got 39 goals in 36 appearances so far, 28 in the Premier League. The record in the Premier League is 32 by Salah.
He'll beat that.
4 away. 4 away.
He'll beat that.
He'll smash that.
Smash that to pieces.
He's incredible. Why did he come off? He scores. See, I've got 2 trains of thought here, right? One is, he's scored 5 goals. He's done his job. There's 30 minutes to go. What on earth is the point of playing him more, right?
Yep.
Which I think is probably the right thing to do, right? But then there's another part of me that thinks, hold on, he could have got 6. I don't think anyone's ever seen any player score 6, right? I think George Best scored 6 in a game, and the game was cancelled, so that 6 didn't count, I'm pretty sure. But anyway, I've never seen anyone score 6. So I'm thinking, should he have left him on half an hour ago? Then I'm thinking, why is he not taken off after his hat-trick at half-time?
That's the thing. I think if you look at what Haaland did, scoring a hat-trick in the first half, I think most managers would have gone, right, well, the game's over, we've won it, I don't want you to risk you an injury, so I'm going to take you off and give Alvarez 45 minutes. And then take him off when he got 5. I think half time...
With half an hour to go.
Yeah, but I think half time was the point where you go, he's got an hat-trick, get him off, wrap him in cotton wool, we go again at the weekend.
Yeah.
At the weekend. But getting to 5 is irrelevant for me, whether it had been the last half an hour, last 10 minutes. But he's gone in there and scored 5 goals in the Champions League game, which is ridiculous. It was like men v boys last night. Like, Leipzig looked shell-shocked. Like, they had no idea. The goalkeeper was a shambles, didn't know whether to pass out from the back, was tying himself in knots. I don't think it was a penalty. I think the handball rule is ridiculous.
I don't even think that touched his arm.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
There's no 100% definitive proof that the ball went over his is it bicep or tricep? Bicep.
Biceps. I think that was ridiculous. But listen, if you're going to give that guy these type of opportunities, it'll punish you every day of the week, and he is fantastic.
Good pen.
Yeah.
Let's hear from the manager, shall we? Pep Guardiola spoke following his side's 7-0 tonking of Leipzig last night. He said that it was over the moon for Erling Haaland after the striker's 5 goals.
What can I say? So the numbers of the season, the problem with this guy is every time we don't score 2 or 3 goals, we'll be criticised for the next of his career. This is the reality. But I said many times, he was a joy of guy, and his mood in the locker room, always happiness, and give to all of us. And he's a huge competitor. The mentality is he's there, and he scores 5 goals. So it's not easy.
Could only have been better if Julia Roberts would have come on for Haaland and scored the 8th goal for them. He's absolutely incredible, Haaland, isn't he? They look incredible as well. The way they pass the ball. I mean, it pays me to say, listen, I'm a United fan, right? And I can't really remember. I know we talk about United dominating so many decades, but the main one being the 90s where they won the... I can't really... Unless you go back and watch football. But football's totally different now, right? But the way they hold on to that ball, pass. I thought Gundogan's goal was fantastic as well.
Lovely finish, left foot.
Yeah.
Lovely finish.
Do you think now that they've won the league, they've won it numerous times...
Yeah.
Pep's won the league with them as well numerous times. I personally... I know Man City fans won't come on and say this, but personally, I think... The number one priority for Man City now is the Champions League. It has to be. I think if they finish the season and win the Premier League and don't win the Champions League, right, that's not as good as ticking the final box and becoming kings of Europe.
I do get that. I know bread and butter is the league, and he'll even allude to that himself. Pep, he'll always say it's bread and butter. But I think when people kind of throw shade at Manchester City, it's always like... When Manchester United, Liverpool, these clubs... throw shade at City, it's always like, well, you spent all that money and you still can't win the Champions League. That's always the line, isn't it?
Yeah.
I haven't won the Champions League. If they go and win the Champions League this year and they lose the league, it doesn't really matter. Yes, they'll be disappointed that they've lost the league, hopefully to Arsenal. They'll be disappointed, but there's nothing anyone can say at them. Like, they've conquered Europe.
What's a bigger disappointment for Man City? Losing the league on the last day of the season?
Yeah.
Or losing the Champions League in the final?
It depends who they play in the Champions League final. Because 38 games... Arsenal have been very consistent.
I know, but I'm talking about this season for Man City. I think it's all about that.
Well,
if you want to be considered one of the best and dive from the top table, you need a Champions League.
I get that, but if they were to get to the final and get beat by, say, BeIN or Real Madrid, you go, okay.
No, I wouldn't say that.
No, but you would. These guys have been kings of Europe before, BeIN and Real Madrid, right? But if they were to get to the Champions League final and lose to Benfica, for instance,
of course, that's going to hurt.
That's more disappointing than if they lost the league to Arsenal.
Yeah.
talkSPORT Drive with Andy Goldstein. Monday to Friday afternoon from 4 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.